Let's go. Let's go. Alright, people want to hate every day. It's okay.
Welcome back to Reckless Success. Jesse is not in the studio tonight. I have hijacked our studio and I have my best friend Leah here from the big city joining me tonight. She came to visit for a high school girlfriend reunion and I had to use this opportunity to have her on. She is a business owner and like me, she comes from divorced parents and grew up with her mother. So she grew up kind of with like not a lot of financial resources, I'd say, where we learned at a young age, like if you want things, you're going to work for it. And so I've always admired her work ethic, her integrity. She, as a friend, has kept me a better person, a better mother, a better spouse. She encourages me, and I couldn't pass up having someone like her on to kind of like share her story and catch up with her a little bit. And I'm excited to have Leah on. So welcome, Leah.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining me in our
Yes.
little studio.
I'm so
She hasn't
happy to
seen
be
it yet.
here.
It's gonna be fun. Leah owns a hair salon, so she's a totally different industry than us. Do you want to start telling me kind of how you even ended up?
Yeah, so growing up, I didn't really have parents that encouraged me to go to college or, really to look at my future ever. I was really good in sports, and I know my dad encouraged running track or playing soccer in college, but it was nothing that I really wanted to devote myself to.
Yeah.
But my sister actually did hair and she owned a hair salon. And when I was 21, I moved to where she lives. And for about 3 years, I kind of juggled what I wanted to do. I was actually going to go back to school and go for business. And my sister encouraged me to go into hair. And I think I used to do your hair sometimes for
Did,
fun.
when I would visit.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? I could really probably do this. So I went to beauty school at 24 because I could get Pell Grant money because I didn't
Oh,
have finances
right.
to really. So I got school loans out, and it was the hardest thing besides being a mother that I have done in my life.
Isn't that school pretty rigorous? Like, isn't it like 8 to 4 every
It's
day? You
it
can't
was
miss.
I think it was Monday through
Oh my
Saturday,
God.
8 to 5. And the first like 6 months, you're learning how to do hair, like all the basics.
Yeah.
And then after that, you're doing hair for free.
Oh my God.
And most of the hair that you're doing is not hair that you would do when you get out of school, because a lot of like older women would come in for their perms or their roller
Oh,
sets. And so it was like free labor. You would stand on your feet all day. I think they would give you an hour break, but it was hour based. So if you stayed
got
and
it.
worked during your lunch, you could get out quicker. It was actually a year program, and I finished in 10 and a half months.
Dang.
Yeah. So
And you coming from a family where they're not supporting you financially, you
yeah.
had to still work full
I
time
worked.
mostly.
So interesting enough, when I moved to the town my sister lives in, she actually got me a job waiting tables at the place she worked at. And then from there, it went to bartending.
Mhm.
And there, in the town that I'm from, the bar stayed until 5 a.m.
Oh my
So
God.
I would work Wednesday through Saturday from the time, I think it was like 11 p.m. So I would get out of school around 5, take a nap.
Oh my
I would wake
God.
up at 10 and get ready like I was
Going
taking
to,
the day.
yeah.
And I would go to work bartending until 5 a.m., from 11 o'clock at night to 5 a.m.
And
And
then
then
go
I
to
would show up
class.
at school at 9 a.m. and work all day on my feet for free.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And
It was
that
hard.
takes dedication.
No, and I think that's why another reason it was so hard is because I was devoting so much time to something that I was going to better myself with.
Mhm.
But I had roommates, so
Of
that was
course,
nice to
yeah.
help pay bills.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a challenge. It was really hard.
But you stuck it out, and I think it shows. Like, I think sometimes even with regular college, like I worked 3 jobs in college. No
Mhm.
one's paying for my college
Yeah.
tuition. No one was paying my cell phone bill,
Yeah.
my insurance, my car. Like, if
Yeah.
my car broke down, I better pick up some more shifts
Yeah,
at the
if I didn't have
restaurant.
roommates, I probably wouldn't have been able to do it because
Yeah.
I didn't take out loans to live off of. I
Yeah,
strictly
and you don't
took
want
loans
to
out
for the
just
school.
for the school program. And yeah, it was just, I was so thankful when it was over.
Yeah. And then, so you started doing hair at your sister's salon
Yeah.
at first,
Yes.
and then eventually bought her salon
Yeah,
from her, right?
so my sister had met someone and was getting married and moving away, and I didn't really get into hair wanting to work for anybody else other than my sister. And so she had made a comment that she was going to sell the salon, and I said, I'd love to make an offer to buy
Yeah.
it from you. And I bought it from her.
How
And
long has that been?
6 years.
That's
Going on
awesome.
7 years. Yeah.
And I know you like totally renovated it, painted, got
Yeah,
new
I
chairs.
painted it. I made it my own. It was
Mhm.
like blue, and of course I did pink and
Yeah.
got these really cute pink chairs. But now I actually purchased my own standalone building.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and I'm
Because you're in like
renovating
kind
it.
of a strip mall
Yeah,
setting,
I'm in a
right?
strip mall.
Okay.
Yeah. And I just was thinking to myself, I mean, I don't see myself doing anything else.
Mhm.
This is what makes me happy. It's really, it's odd. It's not like the actual hair is my passion, but
Mhm.
owning a business, having my own schedule, and having the relationships I have with my clients is what gives me passion. And I'm super creative and love art. And
Mhm.
so it's almost like I go to an art studio every day and just
Yeah. And
make,
create.
yeah.
Yeah. And I
And then
think
I love that, like, I can make people feel better in life. Like
Yes.
that's where I get all my like joy from what I do. It's not necessarily for me, it's because other people feel better, and
Yeah.
I allow that to happen for them with the hair that I do.
I think that's your personality type. Like I think things in your life have always gone pretty well because you're likable and relatable and you want to
Yeah.
do good by people and be nice and like make them feel good about their day.
Absolutely.
You're
Yeah.
not like ever tearing people down or rude or
Right. I love to uplift people and support people, and I think it's because, like, as a young child, I didn't really ever feel fully supported.
Mhm.
And so it's like now as an adult, I want people to be able to count on me for support or call me. Like, I have clients that call me for who knows what, and I'll answer and hopefully help them in a situation that
Yeah.
they needed guidance on. So it's kind of fun
Yeah.
because
I feel
you
kind
don't
of a
really think about
therapist when
that
you're
in the hair. Yeah,
Yeah,
really.
really.
And I don't know. Yeah, it's just it's great. I never wake up and be like, "Oh my gosh, I don't want to go to work today." Like,
Yeah,
I
that's a
love
big
going to
deal.
work. Yeah.
And so you bought a new standalone building on a busy street and
Yep.
Leah lives in like a
Yep.
city.
I actually
So
drove by this building for the past 15 years. It was a podiatrist building.
Oh,
And I had always said I could see my hair salon in that building one day.
yeah.
And it actually had been for sale for about 2 years. And it wasn't selling. I think they had a bad real estate agent because another guy that works at the salon, his client is best friends with the owner.
Oh.
And so they had mentioned to me, hey, we're not getting what we really want for this building, put an offer in. And there were 2 other offers, and they actually went with my offer. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
So you're in like renovation stage right
in
now?
renovations, which it's not going as fast as I would like, but I
Mhm.
understand it's summer. I mean, the contractor had a vacation, the plumber had a vacation, I have a
Yeah.
vacation. So, but Monday we're going to pick back up, and hopefully I can find out maybe a better idea of when I'll be opening it.
And aren't you going to add more services to this space
Yeah,
than your current salon?
right now I have just hairstylists, but I'm actually going to be adding more of like salon and spa services with
Yeah.
esthetician and facials and whatever I can do with it, I will.
That's
So
exciting.
yeah, it is exciting.
And I think it's just cool. Like, it's like for reference, I know it's easy to say like, oh, we grew up without a lot of money and now look at us. But like going to Leah's house as a kid, I'm not exaggerating. Like the food in her house was slim to none. I
Yeah.
mean, and which is sad, but
Yeah.
Leah never, even back then, was like, woe is me, negative, feeling sorry for herself. Like as soon as when we were both 15, we could work. We got jobs as caterers at the local community college, like have
Yeah.
our parents drop us off or get
Yep.
rides with friends'
Yep.
parents. We both worked at Hardee's, the same one Jesse worked at. So it's
I
like,
did not know that.
yeah. Do you know Jesse worked there? That's when he first
I
quit
had
using.
no idea.
He was
Yeah.
selling drugs. He had to
Oh,
walk there
wow.
because he didn't have
Oh,
his
wow.
license.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only job he could get. So, like, we both had to work to have money to do anything. And, like, Leah
Yeah.
had to share a car with her mom, unless she wanted to buy one on her own, which that's hard to do when you're 16. And, like, it was a stick shift. And, like, most kids would be like, no way, you have to get in
Yeah.
the car. I can't do this.
Yeah.
Leah didn't. She learned to drive
I
it.
got in the car and taught myself to drive it.
Yeah, and ripped
Yeah.
around town. She put subs in this car. And it was
Oh, I
like
was
was it a
bumping.
Dodge Avenger?
It was a Dodge
Electric
Avenger.
blue.
Yeah. Yep.
2-door,
Yep.
little sports
Little
car
coupe.
that her mom drove, who was a very sweet, biblical, church-going woman, smart biology type, like walked a lot of places. And Leah put subs in this car because they shared it and would like burn out
Oh yeah.
in this
I actually
shift.
blew the engine on the car.
I didn't know
Racing.
that.
Yes. You remember we were going to a football
No.
game.
Oh my God.
We were going to a football game. It was like a championship game. And I swear it was us four in the car. And I was
Probably.
at a stoplight. And I always thought I could race everybody. I don't know why.
Because
It
you
was
had a
not
stick.
fast, but it was a stick shift. And it just went, "Mrrr." And we had to call someone for a ride. Oh, yeah. It was a mess.
No.
Yeah. And instead of getting a new car, I think my grandpa like paid to get a new engine put in it.
In the same old car.
Yeah. In
That's
the same old
hilarious.
car. Yeah.
And you kept ripping around in
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
But it worked.
I know.
It got you where you needed to be. And
I
like,
think eventually somebody like stole the catalytic converter off of it or
Shut
something.
up.
Yeah.
that's hilarious. Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't know why, but I remember selling it to some random car place for like $500.
Oh. And then
Yeah.
what? Bought your own car at that
I
point?
did. Yeah, I got a little loan from like a local bank for $5,000 and bought
Yeah.
my first Tiburon.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And I love that car.
Yeah, it was a good one. And
Yeah.
that's just like Leah actually taught me to drive stick in this car.
I try to teach everybody.
I didn't do well. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say she taught me. She attempted to teach me, and I was driving around town, and I think I was screaming the whole time. 'Cause I thought for sure I was going to wreck and kill us because it was terrifying. I mean, I got it around
Yeah.
like the big loop of town, but it was not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant for me.
It's a little intimidating.
It's
Yeah.
intimidating. But yeah, so that's just like background. And I just think it's important. Like Jesse and I talk about a lot in not having to like live the same cycle that you're growing up in and making a choice, like a conscious decision on your attitude about the life you're in, the friends you surround yourself with,
Yeah.
how you want to work, how you want to present yourself. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you don't, some people I think want to be like, poor me, I need help, hand out,
Yeah.
hand out. And neither
No.
of us chose
I
that.
think you have to look at everything as an opportunity. And yes,
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be where I am now had I not had a sister who directed me into the right path.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think when you keep a positive mind and an open mind, opportunities come forward. And if you're scared, like you're not going to have any growth. Like you have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. I had no idea how to run a salon. I did not
Yeah.
know, well, how do you do this? How do you get licensed for this? And my sister guided me on all of it. And you'd be surprised, like once you learn, I mean, it's easy. It really is.
And wouldn't you agree? Jesse talks about this, like if you just will talk to people and ask the
Oh,
questions,
100%.
people want to help and
And
give advice.
Yes. And I would tell if a booth runner came up to me and said, "Hey, I want to open up my own salon," I would say, "What do you need help with?" Like
Yeah.
I am all for growth and people just being better in life. And I
Yeah.
fully support that and everything. So
Yeah. And I think that's why you've gotten so far.
yeah.
Like,
Well, I've never, woe is me. I mean, yes, when I lived with my mother, it was challenging. And I remember there were times where, I wanted to get my nails done or my hair done and I couldn't, or just wanting $20 to go to the movies with
Yeah.
my other friends. And there was no opportunity for that. And so I was like, you know what? I'm never going to put myself in a situation where I don't have that security of, if I want to do something. And that's why we got jobs at 15. I think we had a worker's permit
yeah.
to work
we
at
had
15.
to get a permit
Yeah.
to go work at 15.
Yeah.
But it gave us money to have
Yeah,
spending money.
for
If we need to
sure.
clothes,
Yes.
like we could go buy new
Yeah.
jeans or whatever we
Yeah.
needed, or even stuff for school, like all the stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
And I really saw my mom, like she would struggle. She just wasn't good at money managing. I mean, and I was like, wow, like I went the exact opposite way.
yeah. And a
So-
lot of people don't. A lot of people will fall into the same system that they grow
Oh,
up
yeah.
in and like do as their parents do, even if they don't like it. Because
Right.
it's harder to choose different. It's harder to forge
Well,
your own
and I
path.
think that's goes along with like a lot of people, even when I didn't make a lot of money waiting tables, I still took trips. I had a car, I had a place to live.
Yeah.
And people would be like, "Oh, how do you do all that stuff?" And I'm like, "You have to choose what to do with your money." Like, I think there are a lot of people who have a lot of money, but they don't make good choices on what to do with that money.
Yeah.
Like, they just spend it and don't think, "Oh, I
Carelessly.
need to, put some back for the future." Because, I mean, there are things that come up in
Yeah.
owning a business. Machines break, hair dryers go out. And I think a lot of people who own businesses, it's like oh, I'm making all this money right now. I'm just going to spend it all. And then later down the road, they don't have a business anymore. So I think the fact that my mom was not the best with money kind of gave me like the common sense to just save and not spend.
You learned from it. You didn't say
Oh,
like, oh,
yes.
okay, I'm going to repeat this. I'm
Exactly.
going to learn
Yeah.
and do better.
Because I saved since I bought the salon, I have saved almost 90% of my income to be able to buy my own building one day.
That's huge.
But I mean, with the help with my husband paying our bills, but
right, yeah.
Which I give a lot of credit to him too, because he's so supportive of me and everything. I mean, he doesn't even know what I'm doing half the time.
Yeah, and that's huge. And
Yeah.
Jesse and I talk about that, and like, it's so important to have a good marriage and put your time and energy into that, because if that's not solid, like
Right.
everything else is going to fall apart
Oh
around
yeah,
you.
100%.
And I think if your marriage is solid, then everything else is going to keep doing better.
Yeah,
And like you
and-
just have to, and that's not easy.
Right.
You have to work at that and
Yeah.
be vocal and communicate, and like we all go through
Yeah, I
hard
think
times, but
being in relationships where I support him 100%, he also owns a business. He supports me 100%. You know, it's just you really need guidance or support from people to grow.
Yeah, definitely. And that's like Leo was saying about going on trips and stuff. Like we have literally, for growing up without much money, have had so much fun over the years. In our 20s, we went to Vegas almost every year.
Yeah.
You probably did. I didn't go every
I think I
trip.
went like 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah, and we had the most fun girls trips, and like you've brought Pain have gone since you've gotten together.
Yeah,
We're actually
yeah.
taking Jesse on his first trip this year, me and Leah and her husband. So we're
Yeah.
excited about that. But like she said, we would work our butts off, pick up extra shifts to have the cash to get the plane ticket and fly out there.
And
have
we
the
weren't
best time.
we were paying our bills and then saving the extra to do the things we wanted. It
Yes.
wasn't like there's so many people who are like, oh, I have to pay rent, but I want to go on a trip instead.
Oh, no.
You know, and
Yeah, I would
I'd be
never.
like, oh, what?
What?
Yeah.
No, never. I think we both were good at not to just toot our own horns. Of course, we've made our own mistakes, but I do think we did well with money management because we learned from our childhood.
Yeah.
And making sure we had fun and explored and saw the world a little bit,
Yeah.
even though we didn't have an excess of cash.
Yeah,
Like,
if you say you want to take a trip, I've probably already planned it.
yeah,
Like
literally.
I'm like, yes, let's go.
And
Because that's
go
what
ahead.
life. I mean, that's
Yeah.
you should be able to work really hard and still be able to do trips and have fun and do fun things, but to be mindful of, like, I'm not gonna spend my rent money to do those things.
No,
You
that's
know?
super careless.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do that though.
That's crazy to me. I have to share, so one of our trips we went on, probably the best one ever, was it when we were 21? Yeah. So Leah won a dance contest with like Nick Cannon.
No, this was with Aubrey O'Day.
Aubrey O'Day. Wasn't Nick
Yeah.
Cannon the host or something?
No, I was there another time
Oh.
and I won a twerking competition.
So Leah won a free trip. You got one in like October, and the next
Yeah,
summer,
it was
we were all
it was my
21.
21st
Yes,
birthday.
okay.
Yeah.
So the following summer, me and Leah and two of our other best friends were 21, so we planned a girls trip to Vegas. And we just go there with not that much money. We have our free hotel. We
Yeah.
buy our plane tickets. We have
Yeah.
our dresses.
Probably
from,
like $300.
Charlotte Russe. Yeah, $300 I think is the most I've ever taken in cash to go to Vegas. And we
Yeah.
would gamble, we'd eat cheap, just have the best time. And like the first night there, we walk into this one club, and Leah is the type that like she just, if you're confident and you just act like you're supposed to be there, like she believes in herself that that's gonna work out. So like we walk in this VIP area of this club, and the guy just led us right through the security
Yeah,
guard. And
didn't
then
care.
once we got in, he kind of like looked at us and was thinking like, wait a second. And he went to like make us leave. And this guy who owned the club, which we didn't know that, saw us and was like, no, they can stay. And so he ended up was like, what are you guys up to? And we tell him we're from the Midwest, our girls trip,
Yeah.
and he's like, I'm from Chicago. I'm from the Midwest.
Yeah.
I'll show you guys a great time all week. And we're like, yeah, BS,
Yeah.
but whatever. So he said, here's my number. Let me know what you guys want to do. We'll go VIP all week. And we're
I
like,
think Hinder was there.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Were they? Leah
Oh no,
remembers
no,
everything.
that was with my sisters.
Leah
It was a
remembers
different time.
everything,
Yeah.
and I don't. So we go to the pool the next day, text this club owner who wasn't creepy. Like this story, I know people are probably rolling their eyes like, oh yeah. No, he like wasn't hitting on us. He wasn't inappropriate. He wasn't creepy. He just was a really nice guy that like
Yeah.
was like excited that we were from Illinois and wanted
Yeah.
to show us. So we text him like, yeah, we're gonna go to the club. And he's like, okay, meet me at this club. We'll go VIP. And we
Yeah.
did. We walk right in, and I swear on my life, and I don't care if you like these people or not, but if you're at any age, but especially 21, and you walk in a VIP area at a club, and I'm dead serious, Kim Kardashian and Paris Hilton are there, you're gonna
And they
think
were
it's
enemies
cool.
at the time.
You're gonna think it's cool.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're like, you've got to be shitting me. We are literally into their VIP. Like, it was
Yeah.
the craziest thing. Well, I drank way too much, so I was so excited. And I have the quickest little picture of Kim, but remember her bodyguards made us like delete all our pictures.
Yes.
They wouldn't let you have your phones out. So I snuck one. I'll try to post it up if I can find it. But Paris Hilton came out and like
She
sang
sang her song. Yeah.
Anyway, it was crazy. So I am like not anymore because I don't have time. I used to be like a professional napper. So like I could truly take a 20-minute power nap and be revitalized. Let's go. Because in college, I went to school full time.
Yeah.
I literally worked 3 jobs. So like if I could sleep for 30 minutes in between work and school, I was doing it. And
Yeah.
I'd wake up, get ready, and go to work. So I was like a pro napper. And I remember making a conscious choice like, I am too drunk. I'm going to go in this club bathroom, which their bathrooms are like so luxurious and nice, like floor to ceiling walls and doors
Yeah.
and plush everything. And I was like, I'm going to sit down on the toilet and like put my head against this toilet paper and take a power nap. And I did. I like
You
set an
set an
alarm.
alarm.
I set an alarm on my phone and made a conscious decision to sleep off for like 30 minutes this drunk. And I woke up and I had all these missed calls from my friends. And I walk out and the club's closed at like 5, right?
Yeah.
So it's like after 5 a.m. It's like 5:30 in the morning and the club is closed. I walk out and there's all these cleaning people there and they're like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I was taking a nap. And they're like, you cannot be here. We are closed. And I was like, sorry. And so like I walk out and all my friends, like all these texts and calls, like, where are you? They didn't know what happened to me. I just like disappeared. And they're like, I guess she went home. Like she was too drunk.
I'm surprised we were.
I'm surprised you guys left, but I guess
think we thought you went to the hotel
I may have
room.
told you I'm going to go take a nap. And you
Oh.
probably thought I went to the hotel room.
I think we were trying to get there to see if you were there.
Right. So
Yeah.
I call Leah and she's like, woo! And there's like all this wind and stuff. I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, where are you? And I'm like, I just walked out of the club. And she's like, so confused. And she's like, what? Aren't you at the room? I'm like, no. And she's like, I'm in a convertible with our other friend so and so. They were on their way to our room to check out to find me, I guess.
Yeah.
So I get to our room before you, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so exhausted. I'm about to crash. You know, it's like 6 something in the morning now. And this is Vegas for you. So I set my purse down. I'm still in my club wear. And I hear like knock, knock, knock on our door. And I open it and it was Star, our other friend who got separated from our 2 friends. And she's like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I just got back. And I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I just got back. And she was like, do you want to go get buffet breakfast? And I was like, yeah. So we went downstairs of the hotel and had buffet breakfast in our club gear. It's like 7 in the morning.
Well, wasn't it the night before we were in a VIP and they were like shooting dollars out and we stuffed our dresses
yeah.
with all this money.
All this nice food, all this extra cash.
Yes, and so when you went to the buffet, you had to pay, you guys paid in the one
All the ones.
that we
And there's like regular tourists there in like
you're counting
their
like
visor.
1,
Yeah.
2.
They're in their visors.
3.
They're like, we got to go to the Grand Canyon and me and Star in our club gear with like all of our dollars, like eating breakfast. It was fun. Like there is nothing more fun than going to Las Vegas.
know.
I don't care. You got to be
We had a
safe.
great
You got to
time.
make good
Yeah.
choices. But we did. And we have literally had every trip has been the best time ever.
Yes.
I've never not been like this
Oh,
was
I know.
the best.
Vegas
So
is so fun.
we're excited to take Jesse for sure. It's going to be such a good
I've
time.
never been.
I know. He's going to love it. That's what we
Yeah.
did all weekend. So we have a great group of friends. We're so lucky since like grade school. And we don't talk often. We don't get together often. Years pass without us seeing each other. Leah and I see each other, but other friends not. And we all have different lives. Like some of us are business owners. Some of us are teachers, stay-at-home moms, homeschool moms, like banking, healthcare.
Nutritionists.
Yeah, we have all are doing different things. We have different kids at different ages, and we have different beliefs on life. I mean, we are just all different people.
Yeah.
But to our core, like we all, I think, have our hearts in the right place.
Yeah.
We have each other's backs. We try to stay positive, make good choices. We lean on each other for support, and like it's been so important to me, like over the years, and
Yeah.
like being able to get together, even if it's only every 5 years.
Well, I don't know if I could tell you of anyone that I know that still has friends from grade school.
I know.
Like
yeah.
we all will randomly text each other in a group message,
Mhm.
and like, I mean, we've been. How long has that been?
You moved to Carterville in
At
like
10.
10. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. That's a
Yeah.
long time.
It's a long time.
So, and I think that's important. And Jesse and I have talked about like you have to let friends go sometimes, and that's hard. Like people that drag you down and don't support you
Yeah.
and are negative and aren't living the kind of life that you live. And
Right.
I do believe that. And like we are lucky we've have these friends that are
Oh, yeah.
true to themselves,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
we'll call each other out, and like if we don't
Yeah.
agree on stuff, we can have those conversations and like
Right.
give guidance and advice and be like, well, maybe things would be better for you if you made these different choices.
Right.
You know, and be able to say
Right.
that to each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's important to be able to receive that kind of feedback from your friends and to have friends that are willing to give that kind of feedback and like truly look out for your best
Yeah.
interest. I just think that's so important. Um, I don't know. So yeah, that's what we did. We went to our local casino. We got this new casino resort we've talked about. We saw a little country concert. We ate some good food. We went to the
Yeah.
pool. I mean, it was really
It
fun.
was fun.
We had a good time. Leah and her family came, so it was
Yeah.
great. So we had a great weekend. We got a bunch of the girls. Not all of them could come, but a lot of them still live in Carterville like me. So we were able to get a lot of the girls back together. We had a great time. And what's so funny about my friendship with Leah is whenever she moved to Carterville, you said you're 10, and I didn't even live here then. So when my parents split up, my mom moved to Florida. So I lived in Florida for 4 years, all through like middle school, part of grade school. And I would come home every summer to see my dad and sisters and hang out with all my old friends from before I left. And so one summer I came home and Leah was here, like this new girl who
Mhm.
had become friends with my little friend group. So I met her, and what's funny about that is like when I met her, I didn't even live here, and now to this day we're the closest friends. Like we've stayed the closest out of
Yeah.
everyone in our friend group.
Yeah.
Like we still get together several times a year. We talk all the time,
Mhm.
and so we met. I thought, oh, this girl's cool. And then freshman year of high school, my mom moved back to my hometown, Carterville. So then we got to actually become like true friends and had
Oh,
spent
wow.
time
Yeah.
together through high
I didn't
school.
realize it was freshman year.
Yeah, we moved
I
back
feel like it's
freshman
been
year.
since we
I know.
were 10.
Isn't that weird? Yeah.
Yeah.
So like looking back, it feels like our friendship has spanned that long, and like it's just crazy. It's just I think whether it's God or what it is, I do think it's God. I believe in God. And the universe. I believe in energy and universe stuff too. But I think that things are pushed together for a reason, and like just the fact that how we met and
Yeah.
continue this friendship, like we've been so encouraging to each other over the years and
Yeah.
staples. And I think we also like have found friends that we really rely on because we haven't always had like that family support. Like some,
Mhm.
not that our families are awful. We have some family support, but you see those families that are like so tight knit and like have each other's back and the parents are still together and like,
Yeah.
you know, they're just ride or die families. And like, I think we're like lone wolves a lot and had to support ourselves and
Mhm.
rely on ourselves. So finding friendships that are true and real is like
Yeah.
so critical, especially when you come from a family life that's a little bit more like turmoil and like,
Yeah.
you know, stressful things going on where you really need to build your own support system.
Yeah.
Like you
And that was
can't,
definitely our friendship group. Like
yes,
we were together all
all
the
the
time.
time. Like lived with each other from house to house and
Yeah.
all different walks of life. Like some of our parents were super wealthy. Some of our friends' parents had passed away. Some of
Yeah.
us didn't have money. I mean, like everybody had different stuff going
Yeah.
on. And yeah, it made us a really solid group. And
Yeah.
like I said 1,000 times, and I know I'm like repetitive, but I just think it's important sometimes to choose your group and choose your people that are going to help you do
Well, and I
better in
think
life.
you really have to work on the relationships that you want to keep going. And I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of people get caught up in life or, they get married and they have children and they kind of do their own thing, but it was like you and I always kept up with each other and it was
Yeah.
important to us to keep that friendship
Yeah.
forever.
Even if it was quick, like
Yeah.
quick text or a quick
Yeah.
5-minute call. Like Leah
Right.
always says, like she can only talk to me on the phone if I'm in the car driving because I'm so busy all the time. So like if she can catch me in the car, we
Yeah.
can talk until I get to my destination. But if she
Yeah.
catches me at home, I'm like talk for like 1 minute. I'm like, all right, I can't talk. I got too much going on. Like I can't talk to you right now. So it's like, but she doesn't care. She's not offended. That's
Yeah.
just how it has to work, and it
Right.
works for us.
Yeah.
And like even like when we were younger, some of our friends had kids younger than we did and settled down younger. And like I remember one of our friends, I don't remember if she was pregnant or already had a young child, but was getting married. And we made her have a little bachelorette party, but it
Yeah.
was like low key. It was like, at one of our friends' apartments. Like we were young in our 20s, didn't have a lot of money or anything. But Leah and I were like, well, we've got to make this fun. So
Always.
we went to like the adult superstore and we bought a blow up doll, a male blow up doll. And like the face of it was like a picture, like a real man.
And his
I-
abs.
And he had abs. I literally think I have a picture of this doll, and I know I do somewhere. I'm
Yeah.
gonna find it and put it up because it's so funny. So we brought this blow up doll at the party. I feel like our friends were just like rolling their eyes, like
Did we put clothes on him or
Yeah,
was he
so-
naked? Oh.
he was naked. But then remember the party ended at like 10, and Leah
Yes.
and I are like, well, shoot, we're going to go out.
With
Like
Dale, the
Dale,
blow-up
we
doll.
named him Dale, the blow-up doll. So you had a sunroof. It's probably your timber.
Yes.
So we go out to our local college town where all the bars are with Dale, and we like have him right out the sunroof the whole way there. And we're like bumping our bass. And people are like cracking up walking to the bar.
Yes.
And we get there to bring him in, and the bouncer was like,
We try to bring him
they
in.
said no. And we went, I think, to
AJ's house?
AJ and BJ.
Yeah.
They lived right there.
Yeah.
And got clothes.
Clothes.
We're like, we need clothes for this doll to get him into the bar. And they're like, okay. So we like had a hat.
I think
and
we
a
had to
shirt.
tape his thing to the side.
Probably. It was all blown up.
Yeah.
So we dressed this doll. We go back to the bar, like holding him like Weekend at Bernie's. And the bouncer's like, you've got to be kidding me. We're like, what? Like, and he let him in.
Yeah. Did they make us pay a cover for him?
Probably paid $5 to get him in. And so we carried him around in clothing at the bar with his real face. It was like a picture of a man's face.
Yes.
It was just so funny.
But do you remember when we left, we were like putting him out the sunroof and we drove by cops and you're like, get him in. And you're like pulling him in. He like wouldn't come in and you're like, throw him in the back. It was like a hatchback coupe. Like there's nowhere for him to go.
Nowhere for him to go to hide.
But they didn't
They
pull us
didn't
over or
care.
anything. But yeah, I remember you being like, get him in now.
His pants are probably falling off. Yeah, but like that is such a small.
I kept that blow up doll for years
Did you?
until it finally popped. Yeah.
That's so funny. I almost think I knew that. I feel like you sent me pictures of him and where you live.
Yep.
Yeah. And like
Every now and then I would blow him up and like put him in the shower and scare my roommates.
I'd come home and there's him naked.
Yeah,
again.
she tried to get in the shower. She'd be like, "Oh my gosh, it's Dale. Hello."
Dale's back.
Or like my friend would pass out like from a night out, and I would put him in the bed,
bed?
and she'd wake up with Dale in the bed,
With his real looking
ready to
face.
go.
Full attention,
Yeah.
Dale. No, and these are good stories because this is so like PG compared to like
I
Jesse's
know.
crazy stories. You can have good, clean fun like us. Like we
Yeah.
had so much fun and we still do it. It's nothing
And
like
we
Jesse's
don't care
craziness.
about what anybody
That's
thinks.
the kicker
like,
too. Yes, and I think when you were talking about, I want to get back to this because before I move on, let's just talk about it. Like another good, clean, fun, hilarious thing. Like I couldn't make it to Leah's engagement party because she lives like 5.5 hours away, and we had stuff going on. And I was in her wedding though, and so she had a cutout face of me made and brought it to the party, and like I was in all the pictures with the bridesmaids, and like I've never smoked cigarettes or anything, and some of our friends were like sent me pictures, and I like had cigarettes.
we were
up to my
making you
mouth
do all kinds of
and
crazy
like take
stuff.
tequila shots, and then like at night, at least then some guy was like, "I'm taking her home."
Yeah, I think someone took you home.
It's silly stuff that's so funny, and like you can have such good, clean fun
Yeah.
and make life fun, and it's like, and like you said, not caring people think. People
Don't
do.
care
I've said
at
that
all.
too. People don't matter. All the people you're trying to impress don't matter. And,
Yep.
and with your money, like reinvesting in your business and saving
Investing in
it instead of
yourself.
blowing it on
Yes.
stupid stuff. It's like, because who are you trying to impress? Like Jesse and I do buy
Nobody.
nice things. You have lots of nice things.
Yeah.
But not to like a detriment to our finances. We would never.
Put yourself out.
No.
Yeah.
For what? Like
Yeah.
overextend us to make people think a type of way about us.
Well, I think because when I was younger, I mean, of course I wanted to go to the movies every now with my friends, but it was like, I never had that desire of like, oh, I need the nicest things. Like
Yeah.
I was just completely content with what I had.
Yeah.
Like I know for Christmas one year, it was like my mom couldn't even get us Christmas gifts. And I was like, I don't even care. I think she gave me like $50.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, thank you. Like I was grateful. I'm
For
humble.
something.
Like,
Yeah.
and so now that I'm older and I'm in a better situation, I still don't care about having those things. Like
Yeah.
it's the least of my concern to have whatever it is.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you and I would never have worn like the Hollister name brand.
Yeah,
like,
I
there's
never
no
had.
way.
I remember wearing like Jordache was like not cool.
Like the Walmart brand. you
Yes,
mean, yeah.
and I bought a like Hanes white t-shirt and I cut out in fabric Walmart and I sewed it onto the shirt and wore it to school because that's like how much I didn't care.
right.
I was like, I made my own Walmart shirt because I'm like,
It doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and that's like I would have like 2 pairs of jeans.
Yeah.
That's all I had. Like
Yep.
don't mess them up. And like when like prom comes around and like girls go and get these obnoxious like $1,000 dresses,
Yeah.
$800, $400 is obnoxious to me. I got a JCPenney dress.
Yep.
$125. I remember that was a problem. My mom was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to put it on a credit card." And I
Yeah.
felt so bad. 'Cause I was
I
only a
had to put
freshman,
it
so I
on
didn't even
like
have-
layaway, my dress.
Right.
And I would drive up there and pay like $20 like once a week
Yeah.
to pay it off. And then I think my dad finally like offered to pay it off because it was time for prom. And
Right.
I
You had
didn't
to
have
have
enough
it.
money.
And like I think in our junior year, like I remember I got my dress. It was the only like real like bridal store
The
dress I got.
blue,
It was the
the
blue
baby
one.
blue.
I still
Yeah.
have it. Just
I
like,
have
why do you
mine
have
too.
this? I'm
I
like,
have
I
mine
don't
too.
know.
I think it's because we didn't have anything.
We
And
didn't
like,
have anything.
I
So like
look at those
I
things
hold
and
on
I
to that
think
stuff.
like, I worked so hard
Yes.
to get that.
But mine was at a store that was closing. So it was like
Oh.
80% off. That's the
Well,
only reason I got
my
it.
second prom dress was it was like $400 and the
The
zipper broke.
So you got a discount too.
Yes, they gave me like half off.
Right.
And my mom was a seamstress basically.
she
So
could
she
fix it.
fixed the zipper for like $12.
But it's like that's what you have to do when you don't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
And even if we did like it, luckily we have boys that will be going to prom and homecoming and stuff, so I'll be shopping for like tuxes.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine having a girl going into high school and spending as much as my wedding dress
I know.
on a like. And I don't know. Our babysitter's always like, "You would though. You wouldn't want your daughter to have less." But I'm like, I don't know, girl. I think she'd have to learn that there's more to life. Like that's
Oh,
obnoxious
yeah.
and that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I would because I feel like we also like to spoil our kids because we know what it's like to not have. So it's a
Yeah.
hard thing to like
I know.
navigate.
What I also like if we go shopping with my child, she wants all these things and she'll put like 2 things in the cart and then she'll see something else she wants. And I'm like, no, you have to decide which ones you
Yeah.
want. Like, we're not getting them all. And she'll be like, all right. But I think what's nice about that is she knows, like, she has that security. So it's like she doesn't throw a fit if she doesn't get something because she'll get something. It's just
She
like,
knows she'll never like, it's
Yeah.
not the only thing she'll get all
Right,
year. Or like
exactly.
she might not get a
Whereas,
new toy
like,
for 5 years or.
yes, like with me, yeah, it was disappointing when I couldn't get my hair done or, I couldn't get my nails done, but it was just like, I don't want her to not know what it's like to have like security and things that are, I mean, even necessities. Like,
Right.
I didn't even have food sometimes.
Literally.
Like, I would go to your house and eat up all your food.
Yeah. And that's like my mom would be like, Leah, all the snack cakes and all the chips, like what the heck?
Everything.
And I
Yeah.
don't because she didn't realize like you literally it's not because you're just like being wasteful to her. You were probably hungry and didn't have food at home.
Yeah, exactly.
And like so you're at my house, my mom did stock a good pantry. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? My
She
mom
did,
worked and
yeah.
stuff. She just I mean, she only made so much, she was in
Yeah.
school trying to get a degree, so she could only make so much
Yeah.
money. And like I've said before, child support only goes so far, which doesn't go that far.
Right.
By the time you pay all the bills. So it's like yeah, but that would hurt her because she's like, shoot, that was my 2
Right.
weeks of groceries.
And I
now-
didn't understand that.
Right, we don't know.
as a
And
child.
neither did I. But she's thinking, oh, shoot, how am I going to replenish that? Because
Yeah.
I don't have the extra money.
Right.
And I don't know.
I mean, I even remember being young, like showing up at neighbors' houses if they were like grilling out and being like, "Oh, can I eat with y'all?"
Oh, and that's so sad.
I know.
You were talking to Mackie today. Our other friend was with us, and Leah and her were neighbors growing up. And you guys were talking about how for cable, they would do 3-month free trials. So Leah would have her mom sign up for cable for 3 months and then cancel. And then Mackenzie would have her parents sign up for cable for 3 months and cancel. And they did that for like a long time.
As long as they offered the
for
promotion.
like every Dish Network or every
Yeah.
like different
Yeah.
promotion.
Yeah.
And so that they could have TV to watch at either one of their houses because neither of their parents could afford the cable or the
Exactly.
satellite. Like that's real life. And that's like,
But I think it taught me, like, even with food, like I had to start at an early age, learn how to cook for myself.
yeah.
And, there was one time I
skills.
would like make my own seasonings. Like I would mix different things together.
Right.
And it was like good came out of it because I figured out how to work around that. And like,
You're
or
resourceful.
resourceful, like eating different things that normal people probably wouldn't eat.
Yeah.
But it was like, that's all I knew. So it's
Yeah.
like, I just think, yes, it was hard, but it also like made me who I am. And
Yes.
I'm a hard worker. And, I put myself in uncomfortable situations because I was uncomfortable so much as a child.
Yeah.
Like, not being able to do the things my friends did.
Yeah. And that you didn't have a choice. Like even having to work, like that's scary going and catering weddings and stuff. Like
Yeah.
we don't know what we're doing. We don't know anything about
Nope.
food or beverage or like
And we
we had
didn't
more
care.
little bow ties and like little suit outfits and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like professional like events. And we're like out there just trying to earn $6 an hour
Yep.
to have any kind of money. And like, yeah, and that's uncomfortable and scary. And like even working fast food, like all that kind of stuff. It's like trying to get a job and talk yourself into jobs and make sure you
Yeah.
follow up and get the
Right,
job.
'cause
Like,
I don't think I would have purchased my own building and have decided to move my salon had I not, like, I always know it'll be fine. Like, it's going to
Yeah.
work out. You work hard and you'll make it work. And
and
that
that's
was,
how Jesse is.
yeah.
He's
And
got
that
the
was,
same
well, my
mindset.
mom was like that. She
Mhm.
surprisingly, I don't know how she did well for so long, like to be able to afford things, but she did. And she always would say, it'll
Figured it
work
out.
out. And so I think it builds that resilience.
Yeah.
And you take that with you as an adult. And then hopefully I'm a better parent because of that, to help teach your children like the importance of staying humble and not just wanting the nicest of nice things, to
Right.
be okay with what you have.
Yeah.
Because I
And
do think
working
that's,
hard and
yeah, it's a valuable lesson, but there needs to be like a medium. Like,
it's hard.
I-
Jesse and I have
yeah,
talked about that. Like, it's like, it sounds weird saying it, but he was like, I worry about our sons because they're both really good boys, but I worry that they don't ever have to struggle or worry about anything at all. And I'm grateful for that. But what you're saying is, and I agree, like, and Jesse and I talk about this a lot. We are the way we are. We work so hard because we know what it's like to not have it.
exactly.
So, like, we know no one's going to bail us out. And like, we know we can choose and we can be successful and we
Right.
can always make things work.
But also, like, my husband came from
The opposite
the
life.
opposite
Yeah.
life, the complete opposite
Secure.
life.
Yeah.
And he's not spoiled.
Right.
He is very level, and yet
Yeah.
everything was not handed to him, but like growing up, it was,
His
he
life
had a
was
house over.
easy.
It was easy.
Yeah.
It was easier.
He didn't have
Well,
to worry about the things that he had
certain
different
things.
challenges.
Yeah, different challenges
He
for
didn't
sure.
worry about the things that you worried about.
Exactly.
But you're right, his personality. So it's
Yeah.
possible. Like, you
And
can.
I think what the most important thing is to make sure your children stay humble. Like,
Yeah.
hey, look, like before my daughter goes to bed, I want to hear 3 things that you're grateful for.
Yeah.
Like, tell me the things that and most of them are like, my Barbie shoes and,
Right. But that's okay.
yeah. But I want to get to a point with her where she's grateful for, having loving parents, or grateful for, other things than materialistic things.
Yeah, for sure. But she's little, so
Yeah.
it's
But
understandable.
I really, and she's taught me so much patience. And I think anything in life it's all a lesson. We're all here to learn. And the choices that you make is really going to make or break you. I mean, and I think having the challenges, like, you can't look at things as like, oh, I can't believe that happened to me, and I'm just going to sulk in my room. And you have to say, that happened to me
Self-sabotage
because of a reason. There's a lesson in this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put myself in uncomfortable situations and make better choices in life if you want to have the life you want. I mean,
Yeah. You want to grow and change. Like,
Yeah.
we all have those choices.
I think if you're comfortable, if you don't put yourself in those uncomfortable situations, there's no growth.
I agree.
Like, you've got to put yourself in situations to better yourself or better your circumstances. And just
And anyone can do it. Anyone can make
yes,
choices from
yes.
any background.
I think once you do it, you realize, like, kind of like with this building, I was thinking to myself, like, oh, if I had done that 10 years ago, I would be, this and this. But I'm like, that tells me do it now.
Yeah.
Because in 10 years, I'll look back and say, I'm so thankful I did that.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not too late. You can still do these things. Like, if I wanted to go change my career and go back to school, like, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, you just can't be like, oh, my life didn't turn out the way I wanted to, so I'm just going to sit here and do nothing.
And be upset about my life
Yeah,
and my
I
circumstances.
think
you can literally choose at
every
any point.
day is a new day. You can make new choices and also forgive yourself if you didn't do the right things.
Right.
Like
Like Jesse Smith,
Yeah.
I mean, until he was 30. He started from scratch at 30.
Exactly.
And most people at 30 are thinking, oh, I'm just where I'm at. This is my life.
Yeah.
Like, no, he had 0. He lost it all.
Well, and
he
I
came home
think
from
what's
prison.
important too is surrounding yourself with people who can give you good advice and like
encourage,
guide you and say, hey, like with my sister, like I was scared. I didn't know what to do. She was moving away, and here I was,
young,
investing in a business that I had no idea how it worked.
Yeah.
But I did it with guidance.
And it worked out fine. And that's
It's
and I'm
worked
sure there
out
was
great.
bumps in the
I wouldn't
road.
have chosen anything else for my life. Like, I am so fulfilled with what I do. And hey, if I upgrade this business and it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like, I
Exactly.
don't go into it saying, oh, I'm going to make this much money. Like, I don't even care about that. I want to
have a
have something.
vision,
Yeah, I
you
have a vision,
goal.
and I want to have something that I'm like, wow, I worked really hard for this. And
you be proud of it.
yeah, and then potentially have something for my child when she's older.
Yeah.
But I don't my goals in life aren't like, oh, I'm doing this to have all this money and buy these things. It's more of like just feeling good about like I applied myself. I put myself in uncomfortable situations. It's all growth.
Yeah. And it feels good. Like we're in kind of that, I'm in that mode of I'm having lots of anxiety and like fear because we're making some moves and it's like unknown territory and stuff
Right.
I don't know well. And I'm like
Yeah.
having to learn and do things I haven't done and call people about with all these questions. And that's the thing too. It's like there are things in construction that I used to feel stupid about when I had to ask questions, but
Right.
now I'm like, it doesn't matter. I will call
I
the
will call
state and be
anybody.
like, hi, I need this certification. Here's the acronym. I don't even
Yeah.
know what that stands
Yeah,
for.
right.
Like on Google, it said this. Is that correct? Yeah. And then, I'm like, so here's what I have. Here's what I need. Is this
Right.
the right? Like, am I doing this right?
Yeah.
Because that's their job.
Right.
Like, there's people in all these positions. And sometimes they're hateful and rude or don't want to do their job. And I literally will say, like, I need your help. That's why I'm calling. If there's someone else that's supposed to help me, please just give me their number.
Right.
And usually they'll kind of change their tone, but like you don't have to feel stupid because everything's a learning curve. Everyone's learning and growing.
Everything.
So it is uncomfortable to even like go to pre-bid meetings and I might ask the dumbest question, but who cares? Because
Yeah.
I don't know the answer and I need to know. So
Yeah.
like someone here knows and will help me and will tell me. And then now I know for the future. And like
Right.
that's uncomfortable and makes me feel like uneasy, but it's like, no, because I'm growing. I'm
right.
working towards
Right.
something. So you just have to get over it when you
Yeah.
feel uncomfortable.
You
And like
really
you
do.
said, if you're feeling uncomfortable, you're growing
Yeah.
and you're doing the right things and
Yes.
you're
And it's
making those
okay
moves.
if those things don't work out. Like,
right, exactly.
like it's not, you can change your direction in life. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter your age. Like,
We've started so many little businesses or had ideas and put them on paper
Yeah.
and spent time on business plans and then realized like, no,
well, yeah.
it's not
And
the
it's just
plan
like
for us.
with like the new salon, it's like, I have all these ideas to make my own hair product line.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've been looking into it and there's a couple different ways I can go. But at the end of the day, like if it's going to require way too much work and not enough, it's not that it's the money, but it's like,
But
I don't want to.
You can't
Yeah,
work
but
for
I don't
nothing.
exactly like if it's not worth
And
it
it's
to do
taking away
that,
from your family
then
and
that's
taking
a
away.
goal I'm gonna put out in 3 years. And it's like,
Exactly,
hey,
yeah.
I may not be able to do that right now,
Yeah.
but eventually that's where I want to be.
Yeah, we even have a friend who's a killer real estate agent like around here. Like she is top #1 producer every year.
Yeah.
She's in her 30s. She's younger than us, but not by, a few years. And her life goal was to go to law school. And she had stuff happen in life that delayed that in her 20s. And she's in law school right now.
Yeah.
And she's still doing real estate. But she's like, even though she's killing it, that's not her passion.
Yeah.
Or maybe it is. But, her real
Yeah.
passion is to be a lawyer. And so she is doing it. And it's like, I have so much admiration for her because she's got children, a husband, and
Yeah.
luckily she has a good support system.
Yep.
Her husband supports her and is helping with the kids more and doing all, being great for that. And like, I'm actually want to have her on sometime and her husband. But it's like, I was so impressed because she could have just settled for, I'm killing it in real estate. But in her heart, it's like, she
Right.
knew
Right.
I'm doing the law school. That's what I wanted
Yeah.
to do. I'm doing it. And she is.
That's
And I'm
great.
like, that is so cool
Yeah.
to watch people, even if they found success in one place, like still follow their heart. I feel like that's
100%.
so
Yeah.
important because that's
Yeah.
where you're going to find
and
true
not making
happiness.
excuses as to why she didn't do it.
Oh, there's a million reasons that I could see her saying like, there's
Yeah.
no way I can do this.
Right,
No
right.
way. And why
Yeah.
would she? She's killing it. She's doing great. But like, no, she's made the choice to make a sacrifice for 3 years. And it's cool to watch.
Yeah.
And anybody can literally make that choice. And I just think that's important to remember. Like no one has to be stuck where they are, even if you're
And
in your
ask
40s.
the questions. Like if you
Yeah.
don't know what you're doing,
Yeah.
ask questions.
And
Call somebody.
Soul search.
I mean, there's times where we've called each other and I'm like, do you know what this is? Or
Right.
what is this? Like,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, I don't know. Let me look. Like
Oh, well, I found this. Yeah.
Yeah,
I have a resource. Let me ask this guy that
exactly.
I know or this girl.
yeah. And
'cause
I
I
think
have a
that's
different-
important too, is developing relationships and knowing people when you're a good person and your energy's high and like there's people out there who are willing to help you.
Yeah.
And it's like treat everybody and everything as an opportunity.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
I talk to everybody all the
Yeah, I'm
time.
the same way.
I'm like,
It's-
oh wait, what is that? I want to know,
Yeah.
just so, and then if other people like, I have clients who sell turf and I have clients who are looking for turf.
Right. So
And
you
it's
can
like,
pair
wait
them
a
together.
second.
That's
And
cool.
actually the other day, one of my clients' mother went into a assisted living home.
Oh.
She's trying to sell her condo and my other client was looking in the same building to buy a condo. And it's
way.
like, you can make those connections for people.
That's the best.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
And it's like, hey, actually, I know
I
someone's
know
selling
somebody.
one. Yeah.
Jesse always laughs at me because he's like, every time we're around new people, like we'll meet someone's wife I don't know, or
Yeah.
anyway, he's like, you ask so many questions, and
I
he's like,
know.
I was like, it's because I want to know. I'm really
I
curious. I'm
know.
not like drilling people to like
To
trip them
hate on them.
up.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want. What do you do?
Well,
I love your hair. Where do you shop? Or how do you do your makeup so
what's
good? Like, I want to
interesting,
know.
yeah, is we're like that. And I feel like all of our friends are like that, or maybe being raised where we were raised. But
Right,
I've met
Midwest.
people in a bigger city who think that, like, why is she asking me so many questions? Why does she
Yeah.
want to know all that? And like what I finally told her a year later, because it was my friend's sister-in-law, I was like, that's just my style. It's I'm not doing it to like find out information on you to like hate on you or
No,
whatever. Like
it's 'cause
I genuinely care.
Yeah, I want to know.
Like I want to know,
admire
like,
you
hey,
for some reason, and I want to know more.
yes, exactly. And so I think now that she knows it's like that, but a lot of people are kind of
Like weird about.
weird about that. Yeah.
I know. Jesse literally laughs at me.
But
She's
everything
like,
comes from like a pure place in my
Yes,
heart. It's all genuine,
exactly.
you know, and I don't know. Some people are just, they're really turned off by that.
Yeah, but I'm gonna keep.
But
on
that's what I
asking
do
questions.
for a career.
Right, you have to
Like
be able to talk.
I
to people.
have to
Like,
be able to
that's
talk to people.
your
But I
part of
know
your
the
job.
clients who don't want to come in and talk. I
Yeah.
mean, or, you know, I don't, first appointment, I'm not like, who are you married to? What are you doing?
Right.
How much money do you have? No.
Right, but you just gotta chit chat. Like you gotta
Yeah,
learn.
but
That's
and you just learn with people, like if
Yeah.
if they're talkers
feel
or
their energy
yeah,
and figure it out.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm grateful we're both like that, and that's we can wrap it up. I think that's just the point. Is like Leah's such a good friend to me. She encourages me to be better as a mother, as a spouse. Like, I call her with griping about stuff with me and Jesse, and she just reminds me of things that would make things easier. Like, well, how are you addressing him? How are you when he comes home from work? Are you just nagging? Like, are you
Yeah.
in a bad mood? Are you just negative? And like that, sometimes you need your friend to say that and not just like, oh, screw him, whatever. She's
yeah.
like,
Well, I
okay,
think
but think
like
about it.
and I also think like with you, like I remember, I think it was you calling you and saying, I used to be like, oh, if I could just have some help with the dishes or the laundry, and it was like my husband did those things, but it was done not how I would do those things.
Yeah.
And I think you were like, hey, at least he's showing effort, and it's like you're right.
Yeah.
Like even though the towels weren't folded
Right.
the way I
The
fold
right
them,
way.
I put them up, and I was just like, it's really not that big of a deal because
Yeah.
he's actually trying to help.
Yeah, and I struggle with that too. It's like I think you may be too, like I like to be in control of a lot of things in our environment in our home. And so when I do want help, like you said, like if it's not right, it's like that's okay. I need to like get over myself.
Yeah.
And like remember to like what was their day like? They come home from work and I stress out about work and family and kids. But like it's not like they've just been relaxing all day on the couch. Like
Right.
so it's like sometimes you have to remember like put your frame of mind right.
Well, and that reminds me of like, for a long time, I used to get a lot of anxiety thinking like, did I do something to make someone mad? Or why is that person acting different? And I've realized going with that is people have their own challenges and they have their own things going on. It's not really a reflection of you.
Right.
So I've grown in that area in life where it's like, obviously it's not, why would it be about me? So it's like I've separated myself, and if somebody's in a bad mood or something, I'm just like, oh, I hope your day gets better.
Yeah.
But before I would go home and be like, did I say something wrong?
Right. And
Did I
think
do
all
something
into it.
wrong? But I let it go. Just
Yeah.
let it go.
Yeah, because I know I'm the same way. Because I don't want to hurt people or offend them or upset them. So
Yeah.
like if they are acting weird with me, I'm like, did I?
Yeah.
Like, and I talk so much. Sometimes I say stuff and I probably do, or I ask too many questions and I'm like, oh God, like
Yeah.
But yeah, like if they have a problem, hopefully they would just come to you and talk it out.
For sure.
At this
Yeah.
age of life, like that's what you gotta do is
Yeah.
hash stuff out. Like you're not always gonna get along perfect with people, but you
Right.
should be able to like speak about it, whether that's friendships or spouses and like coworkers, and then move forward.
Right.
Like that's the goal.
Yep.
But thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
I
had fun.
appreciate you
Yes. I
taking time out of
appreciate
your
you.
vacation. Thanks for joining us on our little bonus episode, a little girl talk. If y'all like this, I'll bring some more girlfriends on. I do have some Jesse and I both have like great female and male married couple business owner friends that we want to have on, which I think will be fun. And we'll get back to regular programming next time. So thank you. Follow us on Reckless Success.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap up. You can follow us on TikTok and YouTube at reckless.success, Instagram at recklesssuccess. We're on Spotify and all major podcast services. Hit that subscribe button, please. For more information on May Excavating, check out our website or TikTok. That's a wrap. Thanks.